It did happen to Neil Wiggins. He was the bellman during a dive from saturation to an oil installation template at 140 meters. The diver was George Lawson. He was oxy-arc cutting when a trapped bubble of gas exploded and blew out his faceplate.
I heard the explosion from the work site, and then I heard the dive supervisor trying to raise George on the comms, and he was getting no reply. So at that point I started to get dressed in to my gear to leave the bell anyway. At that time, the supervisor told me to get dressed in and go and get George.
I remember when the explosion happened thinking, oh no. And the explosion blew me up and back in the water. Must have been a good 5 or 6 meters back. And I couldn't see anything. Everything was black. And there was a loud ringing in my ears. And I could feel the helmet was full of water. So the first thing I tried to do was to turn the free flow on.
At this stage, a remotely operated vehicle was brought onto the scene.
You can see the stream of bubbles from where I turned the free flow on. That's where I fell over as I tried to get up to go back to the bell, because the hat was no longer buoyant. It wasn't holding gas. It was heavy, and it dragged me down head first. And I was so weak, close to passing out there, I just couldn't get myself back up again. And the last thing I remember was feeling a tug on my harness there as Neil grabbed hold of me. I remember thinking how quick he'd managed to get to me, and that's it.
Just went into automatic, I suppose, in as much as we all have our sort of mental plan of what we'll do if we need to go out of the bell and get somebody. And I just put that plan into operation. Well, I just wanted to check him over initially and see what was going on. I could see he was in trouble, obviously. And then he went really limp on me then. Once I got him out of the template, his legs stopped moving and he just went really limp on me. His faceplate was cracked and all that gas was streaming out of the front. So I tried to keep him down, but the weight of his bailout was pulling him back onto his back all the time while I was trying to keep him face down, so that at least he'd be getting some gas into the hat. But getting off the template was a bit of a problem, because I have fins on, you know, and it's not easy to walk on gratings with fins. But once we were off the template, we just went straight back for the bell. All I had in mind was getting him back to the bell as quickly as possible, because he was having trouble getting gas at all. And as I say, he'd gone completely limp on me, so I knew he was unconscious. And although his umbilical became foul on one of the guideposts, and I couldn't shift him, so I had to go back and clear it, as you'll see in a sec. So I just nip back and push it over the top.
That's one of the things I'm always aware of now when I'm out of the bell, is to make sure that my umbilical goes straight to me and not round any obstacles, so if someone has to come and get me.
So these are those guideposts 10 feet high, and the template was about the same, about 5-10 feet off the seabed. Does help tie a clear umbilical. So at this stage, when I got up to the trunking, it was just a case of getting straight in and getting him clipped onto something. His hat had actually been damaged around the neck dam, and that came off quite easily. And as soon as his hat was off, when I'd got head and shoulders of him into the belt, I could see that he wasn't breathing, and rather than carry on getting him all the way in, I worked on him in the trunking. If you're not in a position to to get a guy's head and shoulders clear of the water because you've flooded your trunk in right up, then, you know, your best bet is the mast down. It's something that, that I had practiced on occasion before, an unconscious diver recovery, and it's something that I tend to sort of run over in my mind anyway when I'm in a bell. If ever I move to a new bell, I always make sure that I know exactly what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it.
I mean, it's all very well to sit back in the hammock if there's one there and doze, but being aware of what's going on outside is important, because I know for a fact that Neil got there quickly because he was aware of what was going on outside. He didn't wait, or the impression I got is he didn't wait to be told to go. He was on his way because he knew there was a problem.
I think I'd stress that thing, having a plan to work to so that you know exactly what you're going to do in the event of an emergency, no matter what sort of emergency that is, whether it's contaminated gas or an unconscious diver or whatever. Give yourself a plan to work to so that you can put it into operation quickly and efficiently. When
I'm diving now, I'm not so much worried when I'm in the water that it could happen again to me, because I'm more aware of problems that could happen. I'm more worried when I'm in the bell and I'm a bellman, because I've got a lot to live up to now.
Thanks to quick thinking by the bellman Neil Wiggins, George Lawson was not only saved, but able to continue his diving career.
Pin on the automatic valve has moved to the left.
Pin on the automatic valve has moved to the left.
A diver in distress or unconscious is not the only emergency a bellman may have to face.
Supply pressure reading 185 bar.
Bell entanglement, umbilical or main cable breakage, electrical and communication failures are all possibilities.
Signal will go into the spinal cord.
Only through proper training, accompanied by good understanding of diving medicine and technology, will a bellman develop the resources he will need to cope with an emergency. The bellman's job is a demanding one. Although generally tedious, repetitive, and with long periods of inactivity, he must stay alert. Emergencies occur very rarely. Nevertheless, divers should discuss emergency techniques with the other members of the diving team and take every available opportunity to practice them so that they will be able to respond effectively. See this film again and read the support material. The bellman, by staying vigilant, may well be able to spot unusual changes and events and so prevent hazardous situations developing. The bellman's role is not an easy one, but then there are no shortcuts in diving safety. Only by every member of the diving team being constantly aware of the dangers can diving operations be carried out safely.